In the vast ocean, where schools of tuna move according to the currents and water temperatures, modern purse seine boats work tirelessly, carrying the desire to conquer the sea and harvest huge catches of tuna. Tuna fishing with large-scale purse seine nets is one of the largest and most efficient methods in the modern fishing industry. This method mainly targets yellowfin tuna, big-eye tuna and striped tuna, species with very high economic value and often live in large schools in the surface or middle layers of the ocean. The journey begins with tracking the fish schools with modern technology. Captains and experts on board use satellite positioning equipment, sonar fish finders, data from electronic buoys with sensors attached to the sea, and oceanographic meteorological information to accurately determine the movement location of the tuna schools. Once the ship detects signs of a school of fish, usually unusual movements on sonar or the presence of predatory seabirds, the ship quickly changes course. As it approaches the target, the captain orders the deployment of the purse seine. This is a giant net, hundreds of meters long, shaped like a cylinder with buoys on top and weights on the bottom. A small auxiliary vessel called a shovel will pull the net around the school of fish, forming a complete and closed circle. At the same time, the fisherman can drop disturbance devices such as water cannons, artificial bait hooks or flashing lights to gather the fish in one place, limiting the fish from spreading out of the net area. Once the net is complete, the next important step is to drain the bottom, that is, pull the rope at the bottom of the net so that the bottom of the net closes like a net bag, turning the entire net system into a giant bag that holds the fish inside. The trapped fish have no way out, and the harvesting process begins. The tuna thrash vigorously in the rolling waters. But are gradually brought to the deck by cranes, hydraulic suction machines or specialized lifting nets. Each fish is quickly inspected and immediately transferred to a cold storage compartment to preserve its freshness. Some high-end ships even freeze the fish at -60 degrees Celsius right at sea to maintain export quality. The purse seine fishing technique is effective, but also requires high precision and coordination between humans and machines. A small mistake in locating the fish, choosing the time to set the net, or pulling the bottom too quickly can cause the fish to be injured, escape, or the net to tear, causing great damage. In addition, fishermen must also be very careful to avoid catching unwanted species such as dolphins, sea turtles or sharks. This method has been criticized by conservation organizations. Nowadays, many fleets have adopted free-release techniques for non-target individuals, or used dolphin repellent devices to improve sustainability. Working on a purse seine vessel in the middle of the ocean is not only manual labor, but also a combination of intelligence, technology and extensive experience. The crew has to face harsh weather, big waves, unexpected storms, and even work through the night to harvest on time. The dozens of tons of tuna brought back are not only the result of a day's work, but also the crystallization of courage, resilience and strong team spirit. From the vast ocean, shiny yellowfin tuna weighing tens of kilograms are brought to shore one by one, then straight to processing plants, supermarkets, and luxury restaurants around the world. Catching tuna with large purse seine nets is a clear demonstration of the modernization of the seafood industry. where people no longer face the ocean alone, but know how to take advantage of science, technology and organization to turn the ocean into a sustainable source of life. However, along with the achievements, there are always great challenges regarding the environment and fishing ethics. The future of the tuna industry will depend not only on technology, but also on how people choose to fish smartly, responsibly and towards a balance between profit and ocean conservation to maintain efficiency and sustainability in large-scale purse seine tuna fishing in the middle of the ocean. Many fleets and businesses have invested in smart fishing management systems. On board, modern computers are connected to real-time satellite data, continuously updating the position of previously dropped buoys, small devices that play an important role in determining the presence of tuna. These buoys not only indicate location but can also measure the biomass of fish moving below through sonar. Thereby helping the captain decide whether to deploy the purse seine or not. Thanks to that, each drop is precisely calculated to obtain the most optimal yield and minimize risks. In addition, fishing is also controlled by strict regulations of international fisheries management organizations, such as the Western and Central Pacific Fisheries Commission, WCPFC, or the Inter-American Tropical Tuna Commission, IATC. These organizations set annual catch quotas, regulate net sizes, prohibit fishing periods, and enforce release of endangered species. Many modern vessels also employ independent observers who monitor and report honestly on catches, species, and catch practices. This ensures transparency and avoids overfishing, which has led to dramatic declines in tuna populations in the past. Another factor contributing to the success of the purse seine method is the specialization of each position on board. On a large purse seine vessel, the crew can number up to several dozen people, each with a specific task. Crane operators, buoy supervisors, net collectors, deck handlers, cold storage operators, etc. all must work together in harmony, like a well-oiled machine. During the fishing season, which lasts for many months, they live, work and socialize on the boat as a big family, facing the rain, wind, illness, loneliness and dangers that always lurk at the top of the waves. The timing of the fishing trip is also an important factor that determines the success or failure of a trip. Fishermen must understand the biological habits of tuna, a seasonal migratory fish, often swimming near the surface at dawn or dusk. And tend to gather near floating objects or FADs, artificial fish aggregating devices. FADs can be wooden buoys, floating rafts, or artificial structures equipped with cameras, sonar and positioning equipment. By luring tuna schools to gather near FADs, fishermen can easily approach and cast nets more accurately. However, the abuse of FADs is also controversial because it changes the natural behavior of fish and can increase uncontrolled fishing output if not closely monitored. After each successful catch, the ship does not return to shore immediately but continues its journey in the middle of the ocean. The large capacity cold storage tanks on the ship are divided into many compartments, which can store hundreds of tons of deep frozen fish. Some other ships even operate as floating factories, processing, classifying, freezing and packaging fish right at sea, when the tank is full. The mothership will transfer the goods to a specialized transport ship to bring them back to the mainland, while it continues its new fishing journey, saving maximum time and fuel. Thanks to this model, economic efficiency is significantly improved, contributing to helping tuna products exported to the world always be in the freshest state. From the nets in the middle of the vast ocean, tuna is brought everywhere, from canned tuna on supermarket shelves to premium sashimi slices in high-end restaurants. But behind each piece of fish is a long journey filled with sweat, technique and faith. Purse-net tuna fishing is not just a fishing method, but also a symbol of the ability to combine human intelligence and technological power to tame the ocean. However, as global tuna production is threatened by overfishing, the responsibility to maintain sustainable marine resources is becoming a major challenge not only for fishermen but also for society as a whole. Only when we know how to balance exploitation and conservation, between profit and ecology, can the ocean continue to feed humanity for many generations to come in the context of increasing global concern about climate change and protecting marine biodiversity. Tuna purse seine fishing is also entering a period of strong transformation. Environmentally friendly technologies are gradually being put into use to minimize negative impacts on marine ecosystems. Many fleets have started using larger mesh nets to allow small fish and non-target marine life to escape, while deploying automatic observation systems to detect early the presence of protected species, such as dolphins or sea turtles, thereby adjusting fishing activities accordingly. In parallel, there is an increase in seafood traceability, a factor that is increasingly valued by consumers and international markets. For each batch of tuna caught from a mid-ocean purse seine, all information about the fishing location, time, means, equipment used and preservation procedures are recorded and encoded. Smart management systems will track each fish from the time it is in the hold of the ship until it appears on the consumer's table. This not only ensures food quality and safety but also proves legal and sustainable fishing. Many famous tuna brands in the world today only purchase fish from fleets that meet international standards on environment, society and workers' rights. However, to do all of that is not easy, especially for developing countries where financial and technological resources are limited. The investment cost for a modern purse seine vessel with full monitoring equipment, cold storage, digital management systems and a team of highly skilled sailors is extremely high. Therefore, many countries have had to cooperate internationally to upgrade their fleets, receive technology transfer and participate in intensive training programs. Support from organizations such as the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature, and Ocean Conservation Funds has played an important role in helping small fleets gradually improve their fishing methods, moving towards more professionalism and sustainability. Another factor that cannot be ignored in the tuna purse seine fishing chain in the middle of the ocean is the life of the workers on board. No matter how modern the technology is, the soul of each ship is still the people. Fishermen drift day and night in the ocean, working 12 to 16 hours a day in poor conditions, far from home, lonely and facing countless dangers from nature, protecting their rights, ensuring labor safety. Healthcare. Rest and decent income is a must if we want to build a sustainable and humane fisheries industry. Many countries have enacted laws requiring large fishing vessels to have doctors or medical staff on board, comfortable accommodations, and satellite connections so that fishermen can communicate with their loved ones and receive information from land. These changes have significantly improved crew morale and productivity. In a broader sense, the Seine method of catching tuna also reflects the relationship between humans and nature, where ingenuity, understanding, and mutual respect are the keys to coexistence. The ocean is not an endless source of resources, and tuna, despite their strength, speed, and intelligence, cannot thrive forever if they are relentlessly hunted. Therefore, in the midst of a highly industrialized and commercialized life, the decisions of individual fleets, governments, businesses, and consumers all help shape the future of the ocean. If we choose the path of respecting natural limits, effectively managing resources, and preserving the ecological environment, not only tuna but also countless other marine species will continue to be companions of humanity on its journey to the open sea. In the red dawns on the vast ocean, the image of a large Seine ship casting its net in the rolling waves is not just a scene of simple labor. It is a symbol of faith, of intelligence, of the desire to conquer and preserve, where people, with their hands and hearts, both touch the precious products of the ocean and strive to protect them as an indispensable part of life. Catching tuna with a large Seine in the middle of the ocean is therefore not only a modern fishing method, but also a vivid chapter of history about the symbiosis between humans and the ocean. A chapter that continues to be written every day, by the waves, by the wind, and by the sweat of resilient sailors. And so, day after day, the Seine boats continue their journey in the vast ocean, silently but powerfully, as an indispensable part of the giant wheel of the global fisheries industry. Each trip out to sea not only carries the hope of abundant output, but also proves the spirit of tireless labor, the resilience of humans in the face of majestic and challenging nature. Behind each batch of tuna pulled up from the depths of the ocean are precise decisions, tense moments and silent sacrifices that few can see from the mainland. In the middle of the ocean far from shore, humans seem to shrink in the midst of immense nature. But it is also here that they prove their strength and intelligence by taming the wind and waves, and exploiting the resources that the ocean offers reasonably. Tuna fishing with large Seine nets is an art, where every operation of deploying the net, every decision to collect the bottom, every catch brought to the deck requires experience, skill and sensitivity to the smallest changes in the marine environment. There are times when a whole day passes without detecting any sign of a school of fish. The crew still patiently observes, analyzes data, and waits for an opportunity, because they understand that with just the right moment, a successful catch can make up for a week of storms. Sometimes, in the middle of the dark night of the ocean, when the whole world is asleep, on the deck, the blue-white light of the high-power lights is still shining brightly, reflecting on the sparkling sea surface like stars. The rumbling sound of the engine, the sound of the waves lapping against the ship's side, mixed with the calls of the sailors in the middle of the night shift. All create a special symphony of the sea profession, not noisy, not bustling, but full of vitality and perseverance. Each person on board clearly understands their role, and it is this unity that has turned the ship into a solid collective, capable of withstanding any unexpected events at sea. It is undeniable that tuna fishing with large purse seine nets brings great economic benefits. Tuna is a seafood product with high export value, consumed strongly in markets such as Japan, the US, Europe and many other Asian countries. Fresh tuna sashimi slices, neatly packaged tuna boxes on supermarket shelves, or delicious tuna steaks in luxury restaurants all originate from the arduous and professional journey at sea. From there, the supporting industry has also developed, from processing plants, cold logistics systems, fishing logistics services,